Hello everyone, welcome to ErikaSpeaks podcast, episode 2. I am so excited to be continuing talking to everyone. This is going to be a podcast that highlights Black culture, Black excellence, Black girl magic, and Black boy magic. I just want to highlight a lot of things within our community that sometimes we might overlook. I think that you guys are really going to enjoy all that I have today. So I'm going to be starting with a poem from 3-year-old Peyton Rain Kim. She read aloud and she paid tribute to one of our favorites in our communities, Maya Angelou. She memorized this poem, Hey Black Child, in a week. And it went viral on YouTube when she recited the poem to a Chicago daytime show. So I just thought that it was amazing that at 3 years old, she was able to memorize this poem. And not only was she able to memorize it, but she was able to animate what she really meant, how she really felt, and really show everyone that she really means every single word that she said. And at such a young age, I feel like it's so important for our community to highlight these young children that are coming up. And young children today are like so smart. They know so much that I don't know if I knew at 3 or 4 years old. They're just, I think that it's an evolution with how far our younger Black children have came. So I'm gonna play that for you guys right now. I hope you guys enjoy.
Hey Black Child by County Color. Hey Black Child, do you know who you are? Who you really are? Do you know you can be where you want to be if you try to be what you can be? Hey Black Child, do you know where you're going? Where you're really going? Do you know you can learn what you want to learn if you try to learn what you can learn? Hey Black Child, do you know you are strong? I mean really strong. Do you know you can do what you want to do if you try to do what you can do? Hey Black Child, be what you can be, learn what you must learn, do what you can do, and tomorrow your nation will be what you want it to be.
I thought that Peyton's performance was amazing, and I just wanted to share that with you guys. Next up, we have 16-year-old American tennis player Coco Gauff. I thought that this performance was unbelievable. She was able to sensationally defeat defending champion Naomi Osaka in the Australian Open. So I have that interview next, and I just thought that she's amazing because she has so many accolades for such a young age of 16 years old. And I think that we should really, support her and keep her in our prayers. And I love everything that she's doing for our culture, especially keeping that Serena-Venus dynamic going with a Black girl in American tennis, where Black people were very much looked down upon within the tennis world. So next, I have that interview for you guys.
Yeah, it was definitely a great year for me. I guess it was a roller coaster. I mean, that didn't really come down yet. So I guess now it's coming down because it's off season, but it was a great year for me, just for me personally and for me tennis-wise. And I guess it built my confidence a lot, and I guess it was a good debut on tour. Looking back, it's surprising, but in the moment, I don't go on a court thinking I will lose the match, because it's not the right mentality to have. So I guess in the moment, I kind of expected and wanted to win. I've not really expected, but I believed I could win. Venus's match, that match I think was the only match I had like a different goal. I felt like it was just to see what I could do, whereas other matches, I guess my goal was to come out winning, but when you're playing Venus is a lot different perspective, but that match gave me a lot of confidence. Yeah, for the off season, I mean, fitness-wise, I guess it's just maintaining and improving what I already have. I mean, it's not much I need to correct that there, just improving on what I'm already at. And then tennis-wise, just to step into the court more, take more chances, and hit through my forehand and improve just overall my whole game, not just anything, but improve my whole game.
So yeah, with Coco Gauff, I just love her demeanor. I love her commitment. I love her dedication to her sport. Being an athlete is very high pressure, and for her to be able to go on the largest scale and beat Naomi Osaka, and I'm sure she went through a lot of hardships and obstacles, and a lot of things came with that, but I think that she was able to pull through, and I'm really proud of her still. Even though that happened a while ago, I'm still proud of how our community looks in the sporting world, which is why next up I have Gabby Douglas and Simone Biles, American gymnasts, and I have their interview from the previous Olympics that they took part in, that they were able to win a lot of medals and honors at the 2012 Games in London. In this interview with the Today Show, they were able to discuss their hopes for competing going into the Olympic Games in Rio, and I just thought that it was very interesting to show you guys how they looked at the competition going into Rio. And yeah, and even though, in another world where Black is really not celebrated in the gymnastics world, I was very impressed with their performances in the Olympic Games, and I love how they still remain friends, and they, even though sometimes the media may try to paint them against each other, even though they are rivals going up against each other, they're able to keep their composure and just perform and just win. And I think that it was a really good interview to show their camaraderie and show their team sportsmanship, and their team, how much of a team oriented mind that they have. And they're young as well, and it just shows how people look up to these people. Like, these are role models to a lot of young girls, especially in the gymnastics world. So I love how they're always keeping a positive view of how we look in the media's eyes. So I have that for you guys now. Hope you guys enjoy.
Our plaza is filled with athletes to watch. Stars like this pair of U.S. gymnasts and P&G athletes, Gabby Douglas and Simone Biles. Good morning, ladies. So good to have you here.
Good morning.
Are you getting in the spirit with our set here?
Just a little bit. It's a little cold, but it's good.
So, Gabby, you're doing something that nobody has done in like 50 years, coming back to the Olympics and trying to defend gold. What's your strategy?
I think I'm just going to do the same thing as before, just take one step at a time and one day at a time, and not to really put that extra added pressure on myself, just to really have fun and enjoy every moment.
You're 4 years older now. You grew 3 inches in the last 4 years. Is that a plus or a minus for a gymnast?
I think that's definitely a plus for me, because I definitely feel a little bit stronger this time and a little bit faster.
Simone, you have been so dominant. You just burst onto the scene in 2013, but this will be your first Olympics.
Yes.
How are you preparing?
The same that I've prepared for Worlds, and just take it meet by meet and then see what happens.
Has Gabby given you any good advice? I know your teammates and
Yes.
probably rivals a little bit.
Not so much.
Yeah, we're not catty like
Yeah,
that.
we try to keep it fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we cannot wait to see you guys in Rio.
Okay, so now we have my favorite poet of all time, and such a beautiful soul. I was able to meet this young lady when she came to my university for our Blackout celebration, and she did a few poems for us. And when I met her, it was absolutely amazing, because I always watch her YouTube videos. I know her from growing up in New York and going to a few events where poetry was concerned at Nuyorican Poets Cafe. So I was so excited to highlight this young lady's success. Bronx, New York native, Krystal Valentine. She's a poet and activist and educator. She's known nationally and internationally. She's traveled to different platforms such as Botswana, South Africa, Paris, Brazil, you name it, a lot of places. She's been named in various magazines. She's been Teen Vogue's Rising Young Black Thought Leader. She's received a lot of accolades from the National Conference of College Women and Student Leaders. She's received numerous women's distinction awards. She's known in New York City. She's been featured on programming such as Button Poetry, BET, CNN, the New York Daily News, the New York Times, MSNBC. She received her psychology undergrad at NYU, and I just love this young lady so much. I'm going to be highlighting today her poem where she speaks about Black privilege, which I think is such a good choice for me to have found for especially today's climate. So yeah, this is just our time to support Miss Valentine. When I met her, she's just so like down to earth, and she's humble. You would never know all that she's achieved, and yeah, like she's just amazing. So we're gonna listen to her poem where she speaks about her viewpoint of people that look at Black people and have white privilege, and she tells anyone listening, this is what Black privilege is, this is what white privilege is, and she shows a harsh distinction. And I think every example that she shows within the poem really lets you think about these issues. Like, wow, I never thought of it like that. Like, if a white person was to watch this video, I think that they would really get a good idea of what we go through, Black people go through. So yeah, we're gonna give her time, and I hope you guys enjoy this.
On evaluating Black privilege. Black privilege is the hung elephant swinging in the room, is the memory of a slave ship praying for the Alzheimer's to kick in. Black privilege is me having already memorized my nephew's eulogy, my brother's eulogy, my father's eulogy, my unconceived child's eulogy. Black privilege is me thinking my sister's name safe from that list. Black privilege is me pretending like I know Trayvon Martin on a first name basis. It's me using a dead boy's name to win a poetry slam. It's me carrying a mouthful of other people's skeletons to use at my own convenience. Black privilege is the concrete that holds my breath better than my lungs do. Black privilege is always having to be the strong one. It's having a crowbar for a spine. It's fighting even when you have no more blood to give, even when your bones carried you, even when your mother prayed for you, even after they prepared your body for the funeral. Black privilege is being so unique that not even God will look like you. Black privilege is still being the first person in line to meet him. Black privilege is having to have the same sense of humor as Jesus. Remember how he smiled on the cross? The same way Malcolm X laughed at his bullet, and there I go again, asserting my Black privilege using a dead man's name without his permission. Black privilege is a myth, is a joke, is a punchline, is the time a teacher asked a little boy what he wanted to be when he grew up, and he said alive, is the way she laughed when she said there's no college for that, and it's tiring, for everything about my skin to be a metaphor, for everything Black to be pun intended, to be death intended. Black privilege is the applause at the end of this poem. It's me giving you a dead boy's body and you giving me a 10. It's me being okay with that. And I tried writing a love poem the other day, but my fingers wouldn't move. My skin started to blister like it didn't trust me anymore. Like it thought I was trading in this noose for a pearl necklace. Some days I'm afraid to look into the mirror for fear that a bullet George Zimmerman its way into my chest while I was asleep. The breath in my mouth is lucky enough to scare a courtroom. I'll be lucky if I'm alive to make it to the stand. For some people, their trials live longer than they do. Black privilege is knowing that if I die, at least Al Sharpton will come to my funeral. At least Al Sharpton will mason jar my mother's tears, remind us that the only thing we are worthy of is our death. We are judged by the number of people it takes to carry our caskets. Black privilege is me thinking that's enough. It's me thinking this poem is enough. Black privilege is this breath in my mouth right now. It's me standing right here with a crowd full of witnesses to my heartbeat.
All right, so yeah, that was just powerful. Like, I really love powerful poetry that makes me feel moved and makes me feel like I'm actually in the room and makes me get emotional. I love those type of poems that could really touch your soul so that you really understand the pain and the anger or the rage or whatever that poet is trying to depict. And so, continuing with poetry, we have another button poetry platform for you guys. I chose Lois Gayo's How We Forget poem, which is another very, very powerful poem. She's a Tanzanian-born creative and aspiring teacher and scholar. She is based out of Houston, Texas. She has deeply influenced the African diaspora. She celebrates the journey of the people who are dispersed. She is a slam champion of the Spit Sign Poetry Slam, which is a very, very prominent competition. She also was invited to the Collegiate Union Poetry Invitational. Her work has been featured on various platforms as well, such as PBS, Button Poetry right about now, and she continues to teach creative writers for writing schools, which I think is so amazing because she's able to use her own skills and pour it back into her community or throw it back into the younger generation coming up so that they find a love for poetry. She does a lot of creative writing, and she occasionally performs for the Initiative for East African Youths. And I just think that she is so amazing. She talks in her poem about how much we can forget about all that we have been through. And I think that that's so important today to continue to remember your roots and make that, continue that distinction between where we've been and where we are now. And sometimes we forget about all that our ancestors have done. Sometimes we forget about the people that fought for us. Sometimes we forget about everyone that is on the front line right now fighting for us, continuing to fight for us. So I just love this poem, and I hope you guys love it too. And yeah, I'm just gonna give Miss Gayo her time, so hope you guys enjoy.
We forgot we were worshiping beings. We forgot you, Black Jesus. We forgot the King of Kings. We forgot crowns do nothing for kings, but put weight on their heads and a target on their backs. We forgot they tax our heads and put weight on our backs. We forgot Sodom and Gomorrah were leveled by brimstone and divine judgment, but Mississippi is still standing. We forgot burning cities. We forgot cities are still burning. We forgot colors are seasonal, and that this skin will fade too. I forgot my skin. Or perhaps I just ran out of fucks to give. We forgot that some kids' utopias is a roof that won't whisper the night to the sleeping bodies below. We forgot bodies sleep below. We forgot bodies float. Bodies hang. We forgot barbecue postcards, strange fruit, and hooded men. I forgot my rage and the post-it leaves underneath my tongue. I forgot my tongue and how it used to fit so perfectly in my purse next to my womanly duties. I forgot my purse and my high heel stilts. I forgot balancing is no longer an act when you're hiding behind imported hair, a downloaded smile, a voice trained to jump through hoops for flames for your snaps and applause. You don't get it. Shoot, you already forgot you woke up this morning. You forgot to close the faucet when you were scrubbing that pot, that plate, that spoon, or your left butt cheek or whatever, but you remember how that song goes, right? You remember how it went? You remember you wanted your Grand Chai tea latte with 3 pumps, skim milk, light water, no foam, and served at 120 degrees. You remember how spiritual of an experience that was? I forgot where I wrote this. I forgot if I was just ranting or if I'd forgotten to close the faucet when I was scrubbing that pot, that plate, that spoon on my tongue or whatever, but I remember how this goes. I remember how spiritual of an experience this is. I forgot my heart was a burning city. Shoot, you already forgot. I forgot my tongue, remember? We forgot that some kids walk past their utopias every morning. Suburban bricks standing tall in proclamation of what statistics say they will never truly attain. We forgot that some kids try so hard to forget tomorrow is even coming. We forgot that there were kids smiling in barbecue postcards next to strange fruit and hooded men. Or perhaps we never had any fucks to give, you know. Sometimes I forget how hard it is to remember.
So yeah, that was her amazing poem. Thank you so much for that, Mrs. Gayo, and thank you for this platform, Button Poetry, releasing these type of amazing and very provoking, thought-provoking, and sympathetic, empathetic poems for us to be able to watch. So continuing with performances, I have Her and YBN Cordae. Her is, of course, the amazing singer who is based out of California, and we have YBN Cordae, which is who I mentioned before, Naomi Osaka's spouse, and he's an American rapper based out of Raleigh, North Carolina. And we already know about the singer Her, and we know how much she can really make you feel her soulful voices and her emotions through her music. But I think that this BET Awards 2019 performance was very eye-opening, and it evoked a very strong feeling toward what's going on right now. And that's so amazing that it was 2019 and it's 2020 now, and I can look back and say I think that this really still makes me feel the same emotions that I felt back then. And yeah, this was just an amazing performance, and I just want to show you guys, and I hope you guys like this as well, because it was something that back then, especially on the BET platform, we don't see that much of, which is two creatives coming together to really make you feel something. And yeah, I'm gonna let it speak for itself, and I hope you guys like this one.
We're all slaves to a generation socialized in sicknesses in the mind. We are habitual thinkers, substance abusers, and habitual drinkers. So free your mind, because the plug is watching from the top floor, hoping you too will fall for the illusions of a temporary high. What we think we need to get by. But are we really trying when kids are dying and depression is trending? Are these the signs of an Armageddon? We're all in denial, and it's all cool until you're suicidal. We never learn from our so-called idols. We're just repeating the cycle. So I never read the news anymore. It's hard not to feel hopeless when no one noticed the explosion came from a man whose legal gun was loaded. It's all watered down and sugar-coated. And we voted, but do we really get to choose? We don't need proof that they separate us from the truth. Mothers and fathers are being separated from their youth, and they're selling the American dream and what it appears to be, but they don't teach us that wealth is unattainable with their currency. History is not my brother's story. The original founders were buried in the ground where men have planted seeds of disease, and they've justified being thieves, feeding their inner demons and blaming the minorities. It's a World War III, corruption versus greed, not you versus me. But did we ever think of the need for inner peace? They can't put a price on your soul. It don't matter your religion. Right and wrong is something everybody knows. They pick and choose what's equal, who's good and who's evil. And this is the devil's world, but the Lord is coming for his people. We're like Daniel in the den, surrounded by these hungry lions, looking in the jaws of death. We reach for saving hands. No help will come from man. The Lord is coming. All you people of the land, yeah, bound beneath the weight of all your sorrows. Turn around while you still can. There's no guarantee you'll see tomorrow. The doors are open wide. Surrender to the light. The Lord is coming.
In the late night, swimming with the great whites, drowning in the deep waters. Know you got 3 daughters, could use some resources. Now we just need order. I got my own bad news, forget a reporter. Man, we ain't even safe, they wanna deport us, or rather keep us boxed in on the street corners. You gon' stop and frisk her? Man, at least warn us. My dog's still on probation, they got a leash on us. Far from stupid, in fact I'm smarter than Harvard students. Spark the movement and put an end to this garbage music. Got me thinking like this can't be life. Man, y'all idiots, y'all voted for the Antichrist. Living in this false reality, it's in this picture gallery. Based on a person's profile, we get some salary. Lifestyle that's advertised, quite strategized. Make a minimal amount and then we maximize. Y'all people capping with lies, how they capitalize. Creating their own perception with a massive facade. Digital marketing schemes, even broader regime. Live how you want on the internet, who thought of this thing? Now I'm a new man, need to find a new plan. God bless America, God bless Sudan. Now I'm a new man, need to find a new plan. God bless America, and God bless Sudan. Glory, we reach for saving hands. No help will come from man. The Lord is coming.
Okay, so next up we have a 7-year-old out of my hometown of Long Island, New York, who went viral after a video of her protesting surfaced different platforms such as Twitter, Instagram, and I was very, very moved by this video because it really showed how she really felt. And here we go again, where I talk about how our young generation really are exercising their voices and really letting themselves be heard no matter what age they are. And I just thought that it was very disheartening for the mother to be what they say, dragged on social media or dragged on different platforms and was teared down instead of lifting her up and lifting up the 7-year-old she was criticized for having her daughter make a video of her protesting. A lot of people, you know, they would comment underneath the video and say that she should not have been out there protesting, and I just feel like that's really not, it's not relevant, and it's uncalled for, because it's as if saying that we don't need to be exposed to these type of things. A lot of young children, I know, even when I was growing up, I was exposed to a lot of different avenues, and so that shaped who I am today. And I feel like when you keep things away from a young child, it's not gonna be an advantage for them to do that. For a parent to do that, you need to expose your child to different things, and to have her child protesting, she can grow up and be a very strong activist. She can use these experiences and be able to talk to her children when she grows up, and tell her children what she did at 7 years old. And I feel like instead of dragging our own community and dragging our own people down, we should lift them up. We should support them. We should say all children that, and it's not like the child is forced, it's that the child choosing to go out and march for change. It's the child choosing to protest, and I feel like we should support that. And so I have her channel 4 NBC New York News interview here that I'm gonna be showing you guys and letting you guys listen to today, after her viral video surfaced around the entire world. And I hope you guys were moved by this story as much as I was. So here we go.
Hello, mama, that's the future right there.
You've likely noticed the protest crowds are made up of both young and old, and that was certainly evident in this now viral video of a young protester on Long Island. News 4's Paisy Chang spoke with the 7-year-old and her family and has her story from Freeport.
Tell them, little mama. Tell them. Black Lives Matter.
Winta Amor Rogers became internet famous after marching in a Black Lives Matter protest. And according to her mom, it was Winta Amor who wanted to go.
I want everybody to get together, make sure a big community comes in.
So these were all of the amazing moments and amazing memories and performances that I thought that I should share with you guys. I think that it's so important for our communities to highlight our people, even when it's not Juneteenth, even when it's not Black History Month, even when it's just a regular day. We need to still be able to uplift and just show our community off to others. I would like to give a special thank you to all my listeners. Thank you so much for tuning in to episode 2. I promise that I have a lot more coming for my future podcasts. I just want to say thank you for all the support. Thank you for comments that any of you guys have left, positive or negative. Thank you for the constructive criticism. Thank you for the ongoing support. Thank you for making me feel confident that I even started this podcast. And there's going to be more to come, and just continue to subscribe, comment, leave suggestions, and turn your post notifications on so that anytime that I release content, you guys are informed. And yeah, thank you so much, and I hope you guys enjoy your weekend, enjoy your Father's Day, and I hope you guys enjoyed your Juneteenth, and thank you so much.